Hello, happiness abounders, and welcome back. Today, I want to continue with this theme that we've had throughout the month about goals and routines, and specifically spend this week talking about how to not break the chain. So, what does that even mean? There's this quote and this idea circulating around Jerry Seinfeld that when a young comedian saw Jerry and said, "Hey, how do I become the level of comedian you are? Like, you're so funny, I really want to do this in my own stand-up. What should I do?" And Jerry said, "Don't break the chain." What he meant by that was he has this big calendar that he puts at the beginning of every year, and every day he sits down and writes out some new stand-up routines. And every day that he did that, he would write a great big X on that day on his wall calendar. And it became so satisfying to him that he wanted to do that every day and have a chain of red X's. So how do we get into not breaking the chain, right? How do we go towards our goals and what we do every single day? That's what I want to talk about in this episode, as well as the episodes throughout this week. So we're going to be focusing specifically, the theme title is Don't Break the Chain, but focusing specifically on the actions we can take through tracking and reporting, how we need to get accountable to be able to maintain our chain, how we get the right mindset, and what the true reward is. Because so many of us get tripped up on the reward part. But today's theme within that theme week is do not break the chain. So then the question becomes, what does your chain actually look like? The one that I struggle with the most is the workout chain, because we're told that we should give our bodies a break. And so working out on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, to me, like, sure, that can be a chain. Just make sure it's every other day or what have you. But for me, if I don't do it every day, I feel like I've broken the chain. So I know that for me to be healthy, I need to do it every single day. Same thing here with the podcast. If I was going to be doing it once a week, say on Wednesday mornings, or releasing on Wednesday mornings, I know that I would procrastinate all the way up till Tuesday night to create the episode before I published it, because I hadn't set it up as a chain habit every single day in my life. So then I want you to think about the quote of what you do every day is how you live your life. And say that again. What you do every day is how you live your life. Now, I apologize. I don't know who said that. I think it's a pretty anonymous, and I know a lot of people have used it. I know I've used it here on the show before, but it's very true. So that, in conjunction with the chain, is really what your life becomes. So when you have a goal or something that you want to achieve, right? Maybe goal is too big and grand of a word, but you may have something that you want to achieve in your life, right? Whatever that is, what does that look like every single day? And one way to continue to make progress towards that every single day is to not break the chain. Now, last week, I had an entire episode all about chain habits. Now, these two aren't specifically related, but I think that they can be, right? Don't break the chain, do your habit, and not do your habit, but do action towards your goal every single day. And if you can put it into a chain habit, all the more likely that you are going to be able to maintain and continue maintaining that momentum and not break your chain. So as we move into this week and this theme week about not breaking the chain, I want you to really begin thinking about what you want to do in your life, how you spend your days, and what you can do to set yourself up to not break the chain and to maintain momentum about getting towards what that is that you want to achieve. Now I'm going to use another analogy. I'm throwing all sorts of things at you today, right? We don't want to break the chain, from Jerry Seinfeld. How you spend your days is how you spend your life, right? Anonymous quote. And then I'm sure most of you have heard, but if you haven't, I think it's a great analogy about the steam engine, right? When you get the steam engine train going, it's really slow going at first. It has very little momentum. It's got to get up that power and that churn, if you will. And then it slowly but surely, because it keeps on going, gains up speed, right? And then as it gains more and more speed, suddenly it's unstoppable. It can go through walls if it needed to. But it has all that momentum, right? It's going forward and it's unstoppable when it reaches a certain point of momentum. However, if you were to stop it it has to start all over again, which means it has to have that really slow churn and that just very, very tedious, making sure you're still moving forward until it starts to gain that momentum again. And then the next thing you know, you are a powerhouse and you are unstoppable. But every time you stop, you have to start over again. And it feels harder and harder. So if we want to be the steam engine and continue to gain that momentum and be able to break through walls and barriers because we are going so fast and we are so strong, we have to look at concepts and ideas like not breaking the chain. We cannot stop, and we have to have this mentality of doing something every day that helps you go towards your goal and making sure that we're not breaking the chain, that we are indeed doing that every single day to gain that momentum, to break through our own barriers, to break through our own walls at top speed to get to where we want to go. So that's the concept of this week. That's the concept of this episode. I hope you will tune in throughout the rest of the week to learn all about how we can do that and how we can make sure that we're not breaking the chain. But I hope today's episode resonated with you. I hope it's gotten you thinking. And if it has, I would love to hear from you. I would love to know your thoughts on this, and if it resonated or if you completely disagree, I'd love to have that discussion. So you can find me at happinessabound.com, Happiness Abound blog on Facebook, and happiness_abound on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. And if you liked this episode and it resonated with you so much that you would love to share it with someone else, that would be fantastic. Or if you're a little too shy to share it with somebody at this point, but you want me to know how great it was, you can easily go to Apple Podcasts or your listening platform of choice if they have reviews and leave a 5-star review. It's as easy as a click. And or be sure to leave a written review. That always makes my heart soar and makes my day. So that said, I would love to hear from you. I hope that this episode resonates. Look at how you cannot break that chain and what you're doing in your life, and let's continue this discussion throughout the week. And above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.